the game-changing work channel where it's all about personal and work, because there is no difference. And so we're here always challenging the status quo about what we do today and how our future. And so we provide tips and trends and thought-provoking topics every Wednesday and Friday. So today's topic is why not being able to plan and strategize is tough for some people. So hi, I'm Veronica Stewart from Ingenious Agile. I'm a
Roxana from All Personal. So go ahead, Veronica.
So we are going to jump into why this takes place. And then we're going to talk about how we know to be able to measure this and what do you do about it? So first, we're going to talk about why this happens. And I'm the one sharing this time. So I'm like staring at Roxana going, oh, are you going to do something about it?
Yeah, because even technology doesn't want to, you know.
Yeah, I don't even think so. All right, so we are here.
That is it. Perfect. Leave it there. I'm going to put it up.
So why this happens is that we know not everyone wants to put their energy or passionate about being strategic. So we all know that if you ever play chess, or if you play Stratego, or if you're in a meeting doing strategic planning, not everyone is really volunteering when it comes to strategy. Not everyone is a systems thinker where they're looking at all the patterns and really seeing beyond how everything connects together. It's not a natural state for someone to go to. And there's a reason why this happens, because not everyone wants to put their energy in this. It's not their thing. And we're not talking about intelligence. We're talking even before that, because those that are really good strategic thinkers develop that skill set and they want to improve in that area, right? They probably read a lot of books. They are really into really enhancing that because it actually is a passion and interest for them. Mm-hmm. So let's push that aside. We're just talking about in general why we can't get everyone to want to do that. You can put a book in front of somebody, you can teach them skills, but it falls flat. Now, me as an Agile coach, I'll share my story and you can share yours. How's that sound, Roxana?
Perfect.
So I know that for me as an Agile coach, and I know that for me, I like strategic thinking. I actually love to solve problems. I like to see patterns. So it's really something that's a natural state for me. And I love enhancing it in truth. Anything that, when it develops that skill set. But when I go into organizations and there's some key roles or like teams, we're trying to get them to do some systems thinking and looking beyond their bubble, kind of like the horse blinders. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I could teach this to the cows come home and it doesn't change anything. They either grab it on and they want to do it. And then there's others that no matter what, they just don't want to put their energy into it. I see it day in, day out. I actually had a conversation yesterday with somebody that is a Scrum Master, because I'm an Agile coach, and the Scrum Master actually works with teams, and she's really good at seeing patterns and seeing how things connect. And I had a really wonderful conversation with her yesterday. And I said, hey, in our community of practice where we get all the Scrum Masters together, and they're doing a scaled version. So there's a chief Scrum Master. And I said, can you come in and make sure that you're available? We're going to have to probably rearrange the meeting because it doesn't, like, she always is sometimes not being able to show up. And I'm like, I need you there. I need you there because we're trying to get some of that systems thinking. And I'm not sure if it's a skill set issue right now, or I'm not sure if they just don't have that passion. And so we're trying to, peel the onion and figure out. So that's my example of real life about why people don't want to spend their energy. And some of you might experience this now. And again, in the comments, whatever platform that you're on, let me go check and see who we have. Hello. We have people on right now, Facebook and YouTube. Now, YouTube is kind of quirky. Let us know if you can't comment. I've been getting some feedback on that, but I know in Facebook you can comment right away and we can see these comments now.
And I can say on LinkedIn as well, we have people watching. So for those watching on LinkedIn, you can definitely add your questions and comments there.
Awesome. Okay. So the platform is yours. So what have you experienced, Roxana, on that?
So first, I think it's good that you made the distinction between energy and skills and passion, because motivation and energy and skills are three different things that we can look at so we understand how we work best, right? I mean, for me, because my main tendency, my energy directly, naturally goes into game changing and coming up with ideas and thinking about how we can do things completely differently. And then that's supported by my strategist, by some sort of strategic thinking around it. But so that helps me in planning and prioritizing my ideas. But it also stands in the way sometimes where I get so energized and so motivated by all of the possibilities that I see that I don't stop and ask myself strategic questions like, is this a priority right now? Is this the right time? Do you have the right resources? Do you have the capability? And so on. So those, by the way, are good questions that strategists on a team or strategists around you would ask from you. And that is why you have sometimes the tension between people who can come up with a lot of ideas, the game changers, and the strategists, because the strategists seem to be holding the game changers down, and the game changers don't like that. Yeah. When in fact, what they do is they're making sense of the ideas and bringing them over to pragmatic world where other people can understand how those ideas benefit them. So for me, and I've seen that happening with, especially in teams, where people are all don't come up with another idea because we have plenty of work to do. And then there's a strategist that actually sees the value of that idea and says, well, actually, you know what, if we do it this way, this idea helps us implement things better or faster, or it gives us better exposure or quality or whatever it is, because they can see the patterns, they can understand the plan, and they can help everybody understand the plan. So for me, it's up and down. It really depends on how energized I am by the idea, how motivated I am, and how I'm just going to put my energy in it.
We have Wesley. What's up, Wesley? So I think leadership can play a major role in identifying members' motivational factors and then managing work roles and responsibilities accordingly. And he says not everyone can manage independently. And here's the thing. Both Roxana and I actually have the same profiles, which I'm about to bring up what we mean by that. Mm-hmm. And we can think of strategy, but it's not our natural inclination. And so even though I say I like to do problem solving and doing strategic, it does not mean that is where I want to put all my energy. See, my natural inclination is a game changer. And I like to see the possibilities and challenge the status quo. And I might not want to stay in that headspace. So we're going to jump into actually the next one of how we actually can measure that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to jump over here and reshare. Give me a hot second here, folks. Yes, we have to.
And by the way, when you talk about leadership, it's so good that you know what your strengths are, because then you can ask for help.
Very much so.
Wherever your strength is not the main one.
Now, when we say this, communication and getting people to actually talk about what they like is extremely important. So we're not going to say that is not a good thing, but here's another part of it. A lot of times we show up as work as one thing and people see us as another. And so it requires both people to be able to have transparent conversations and really be honest, even the individual, of what they really want to realize what they want. And so it's not always so black and white is my point.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we can measure impact, and it's called the GCIndex. And what this is it started with the Game Changer, where they were so interested, like the Steve Jobs, all the people out there that have really done some really profound things, and what they called game changing. And so what they found out through this research is that within the DNA of these individuals, it's natural. Like they're just born with it. They can't help themselves. But as they peeled the onion back further, they found 4 other natural inclinations that surround this game changer. And so that's what we are left with today, is what you see in front of you. And we have the game changer, which I've already described, which is Roxana and myself. And then we have that strategist, which is on the other side, which is also part of ideas and imagination, but one is more of that obsessive. So I think Roxana and I can attest that once we have an idea, we can't stop talking about it.
Yeah, I think we can say, if you look at the right side, that talks about obsession, but not in the clinical sense, but in the drive sense. And then on the left, you have pragmatic, and you have the pragmatic side of things, right?
A lot of thinking, but then there's the doing, right? So
exactly.
And the strategist is highly much of a thinker, and they're always wanting to try to make sense of things and see those patterns. So that's why you could see that is where they call it the strategist. And then below there is also very pragmatic, but it's very actionable. This is somebody that wants to get to action and is really about just implementing. So if I take it in the software world, it's the one that wants to just start coding, getting it done. And they don't really want to stay in the space of really wanting to make sense of things. They just want to know, okay, what do I need to do? Let's get started. Yeah. How do I build this? As long as they understand what they're building, they're ready to go, leave them alone. They just want to get started. And then you have the polisher, which is the person that's all about quality. So if I put it in more in the tech world, you'll see a lot of these people want to focus on quality, doing things right. And so when they hear an idea or something that we want to do, like a goal, they're wanting to make sure that it's a good goal.
Yeah.
And it's actually going to produce something with great results. They're all about that. And so getting back to our strategists, they're all about making sure that this is a good strategy that makes sense. And it's not something that's going to address immediate. They are also thinking 10 steps ahead. So think about it. Greatest generals out there, right? Any of you that play chess, I love Stratego. You don't think about what you're just doing in that first move. You're thinking 10 steps.
Yeah.
Right? Or even more is my point. That's a strategist. So that's why you really type of people that are going to want to put their energy into that. In that room, if you're really doing strategic conversations. I'm not sure. What do you think, Roxana? If you and I would be the best fit, if that's not our natural inclination. We can do it, but are we going to stay in it?
And it's again, and because you and I are so much against labeling people, I think it's not that you can't do it. It's what would you rather be doing? That's the question. Because of course, I mean, you can do it. It doesn't mean you have to like it. It's the difference between going naturally and doing something, because for you, it's just the way it is. You naturally go there, or come up with ideas, or you naturally see patterns, or you naturally just get things done. You're naturally about high quality and being able to deliver almost perfection. That is what we're talking about. Where does your natural energy go into, and how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel depleted, or does it make you feel even more energized because you've done it? That is
where you're going in the feelings, because we're about to jump into the next thing is, what do you do with this information now? So we talked about why this happens, how you actually can measure it, but now it's like, well, what do you do with it? And,
Okay.
this is where it starts to come into mindset.
Mhm.
Because how we think of things has a direct correlation. And I loved your, by the way, those of you that did not see Roxana's live feed, you can see it on her profile. And I don't know if you have it on your YouTube
I do.
also.
Yeah, I have.
YouTube channel, All Personal. She talks about ET and talks about the mindset. And so this is all what we're talking about is how you perceive things and how you react to it is all related to mindset. So for me, really going into the neuro linguistic programming language in my next certification with NLP and other things as a life coach, this is an area where I focus a lot, because at the end of the day, you have to still channel yourself in those emotions that you're feeling in order to get to action. And so that is also about it as well. So for example, because I have some strategic thinking, I have this game changer, and I have a really, really low implementation. We're talking what ours is 2. It's pretty bad. That's where my mindset kicks in. So I am cognizant now, knowing that strategy is not my number one. It's not a space I want to stay in. Now, those of you that might have the highest strategists, you might have to work on other kind of mindsets, right? That might trip you up. And so it's all about working on that beliefs, the limitations, that what you're thinking in your head that may limit you of your ability to move forward. Hey, Austin, what's up? So, Austin, you say, which would you prefer in your team? Someone who can do the task, i.e. strategy, or someone who is a 9 or 10 in energy?
We're measuring energy here in the strategist or in the game-changing proclivity, as we call them, which is inclination, right? So this is what it's all about. You're not measuring skill. You're measuring the energy. You're measuring the impact. If they are a 9 or 10 strategist, it would be very interesting, first of all, to know what is their supporting inclination, because the whole assessment, that's why I think Veronica and we like it so much, because it's hard to put a label on people because you get all of these combinations in their profile. So first of all, if they have a 9 strategic thinking and they have very few points in the others, that already tells me that might be good for maybe crisis strategy. I'm not sure about long-term strategic thinking and how they would mesh with the team and understand everything that needs to happen, because they might be very focused on just strategy, leaving aside people, leaving aside quality, leaving aside other stuff that we might be interested in long term. So when it comes to bringing people on the team, you have to be very clear of where you want to go, what your business goal is, and what you want them to, what impact you want them to make.
And that's where
short term and long term.
And that's also where there's the beginning of a movie and the middle of a movie, right? What do you do with it?
Yeah.
And the why somebody wants to put their energy, we answered that question, right? That's the energy one.
Yeah.
Now here's the other piece is, where are they in their behaviors and skills, right? And I'm going to lump in skills and experience because it's all related. It's all together in reality.
Yeah.
And so if you had a team, and say, for example, me being an agile coach and I'm working with people, I would rather focus on helping develop the skill sets of the people that are interested in it, because they're actually going to want to pay attention. And otherwise, I feel like sometimes I'm forcing the others, because they might be, when you're learning how to collaborate and work at a team, that's their superpower. That's how they are a good contributor. So you don't have to force all of it with everyone, but everyone starts to go, oh, okay. When that person starts thinking strategy, then the polisher might come in, and the game changer might come in, and the implementer might come in, and then they start collaborating together as a team. This is where I called my Mojo team magic.
Mm-hmm.
So it does happen, but at the end of the day, it still goes to the behaviors as well, because you could be a phenomenal. I mean, you have all the skill sets in the world. You have the energy as a strategist, but your mind is playing some bad voodoo tricks on you.
For
And
sure.
mindset.
Exactly.
So it's everything in the bag of goodies of life and who you are as a human being.
And I think when we talk about, what I want to say is that, mindset is really, really very action oriented. We think about it as this thing that exists, and mindset, but exactly. But what does that help me with? Well, actually, let me tell you, you're mindsetting every day, because you're setting your mind on things, on ideas every day. And we do it consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously. We do it anyway, we like it or not. So it's just about what we think and how that thought makes us feel, so that we actually behave one way or another.
It actually is how you form new habits.
Exactly.
So I think we don't connect where you're conscious and subconscious. So conscious is what we actually can literally see there and what's actually happening at the given moment. Your subconscious is where it starts to go behind, and that information that's coming through, your brain's going processing, and then whatever kind of distorted things that are going in there, right? And those feelings, then eventually that's how you are reacting. That's coming out.
Yeah.
And that is where you have to start reprogramming. And it might not be as easy. You might have years of baggage in there, peeps. That's where insecurities sit. And so when we talk about what do you do with it once you find out, it's, well, what are we dealing with? Are we dealing with a skill set issue? Or are we dealing with a mindset issue? And every great successful person that is out there always talks about how their mind and how they think, and they don't, but there's also really, really good people. And I want to point this out before we finish, because you and I had this conversation about how, like when it comes to athletes, a lot of athletes, when they're younger and highly successful, and I've talked about this before, like even Michael Jordan's documentary, that in their 20s and when they're younger, they can push through these negative emotions and they can get to action. But when they start to get older and they start to hit their late 30s and 40s, midlife crisis, sound familiar? They start to hit a brick, and it's not sustainable anymore, and their performance starts to go down. And so this is why a lot of them get mental performance coaches, and a lot of them, they're smart and they get them early, because what they're working on is the mindset and the ends, so that they know how to hear, and they will always be sustainable, is my point. And so the most successful people out there, hi, Cod Panda, hello. We got a Twitch person, woohoo.
Wow.
That is what they do. And if you interview after interview, if you ever watch, they all talk about this. And a lot of them always have coaches, right? Or they found something to get them through this. A lot of them meditate.
Yeah. I mean, and if you think about high performance and high performers, you have to think about, and I love this topic, because I love talking about that, because we think only about the performance bit. We talk about high performance. Oh yeah, high performance. That's when I get those great results, right? I do the great things that give me the great results. It's not just about that. High performance is a cycle. It means preparation, performance, and recovery. And it means that you have all of the tools in place, and the techniques and the strategies and everything in place, all of the routines that help you prepare for high performance and then recover, so that you can perform at high levels again and again and again. Because we're not talking about high performance for one day or for 1 week. You want high performance long term, exactly what you were saying. And if you want it long term, you have to have the support system in place, which means mental, psychological, and physical. By the way, it's on 3 levels, so that you can keep performing at high levels without crashing. Because that's what happens if you just push yourself and stretch yourself too thin. At some point, you're not going to be able to do anything anymore.
And that's my realization, as those of you that might follow me, why I have my journey in agile coach, and why I've moved more into life coaching and these mindset, is because I believe every company and every education system needs life coaches for exactly what Roxana has said. And to be honest, when I ask about what my purpose is, it's me being an influencer of helping make that change. And anything that I can do to start helping that, and people realizing, hey, there's more of me, and life is beautiful, and there's no difference between, in your hearts that something, is dysfunct. So getting back to strategy, there could be a lot of people that are really good with strategy.
Yeah.
But they're stuck.
Yeah, exactly. And they can be stuck for different reasons, right? And that is why you can do something about it. You just have, and I talk to a lot of people who don't know where to start. So that's why that's why it's so very well connected with what you just said. It's talk to people, know who you need to talk to get you unstuck. It's just, sometimes it's just about that. Sometimes it's just a boost that you need. Sometimes you need to do deeper work, but it depends, right, from one person to the next.
Yeah. And here's a real question that we haven't even answered. Well, how about if strategy is not my thing? And you know what I'm going to say? That's okay.
Yeah.
That's why you have all these human beings around you to help you.
Yeah.
That's why, the number one thing that we always try to get teams is ask for help.
Exactly.
You can't be too proud and stubborn, which is, again, a mindset, to ask for help, because there are so many people out there that are willing to help.
And I think that's such a good question, because it starts with becoming aware of what your strong points are and where you're not that, like, what doesn't give you energy, where you're not good at. And then you can ask for help with that, right? It's going to be more specific, and it's not going to make you feel helpless and useless. No, I'm good at
I feel more empowered.
Right?
Asking for help empowers me, because I'm all about achieving my desired outcomes at the end of the day.
You are asking for the kind of help that you know that you need, because you are self-aware. So it starts there. Understand what your strengths are, and then that will also help you understand what you can ask for help with.
And I'm going to tell all of you, there's nothing wrong with you. When we start judging ourselves of our inabilities, right there is what prevents us from being successful in achieving the things that we truly want to do in life. And so this is why I'm so like, when it comes to why I'm moving in this direction, because it's not about judging what you can and cannot do. Like Roxana has said, it's not about labels. It's about just acknowledgement. But if you start seeing that North Star on what you want, or what you want to do as a group of people, and you start getting honest and real and aware, poof, oh my God, it's like fireworks. I'm just getting excited about the magic that could happen.
I know. Let's start working on it.
And I talk about Mojo all the time, and that is the essence.
And by the way, let's talk about that, okay? Because we need to wrap up anyway.
All right. So I am on my rethink with Veronica. We have a holiday next week, so I will be kicking off weekly live Mojo sessions. And what this is we're going to have those of you that attend. It's Q&A, and it's all about focusing on that empowerment, the mindset, and tips and tricks on how to be successful, getting to action, getting things done. It's everything centered around that. So you're able to, with mind and action, get to the things that are going to help you be successful and be in the driver's seat of your life and career. So my weekly live Mojo sessions are all about that. So please join me. I'll be probably kicking that off the first week of December. I think that's going to be more realistic. And I will have that. So just subscribe to my channel, click the notified bell, and you will know when I post those.
Awesome. Okay. So, and I also start a series, bite-sized masterclass series. And I call it bite-sized because it's 30 minutes sessions on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I have lunchtime and afternoon times for you to pick from. And it's a series for people who manage people in teams. And we do talk about emotional intelligence, about how you can prepare, how you can, some self-care strategies, how you can manage your team and manage your time and manage change. And we're going to talk about the difference between change and crisis. So the link to register is going to be available in the comments and in the description of the video. It's on Eventbrite, and it's called exactly like this. We start on the 24th of November, and the last session is going to be on the 10th of December. In the meantime, if you want to join the Lead for Legacy League, I'm taking the whole Black Friday up until the 15th of December, people. So join in, or if you want to have a conversation with me about it, just drop me a message and I'm happy to chat. Again, it's our global community of learning and support for people who manage people and teams.
And I know those of you, especially the boots on the ground, direct managers, are always the ones that are forgotten.
Yeah.
You always have all these leadership things that are typically for higher levels.
Yeah.
They get the coaches, they get all of
everything,
that particular, things. And also, wouldn't you rather be around people that you can talk to? They're going through the same kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, anyways, I think it's great. So we're going to wrap up our show for today. Next week is gratitude. Here in the United States is Thanksgiving. So we are definitely going to do a gratitude theme. And for Wednesday, it's all about positive mindsets in difficult times. I think it's a really, really good topic, knowing that the holidays are going to be tough this year. And most of you already have hard times with holidays. A lot of emotions are running. So we're going to talk about how we can help you with a couple of things to get some tips on how to wrap your head around and create more of a positive mindset. So come and join us on Wednesday. We would love to see you.
Okay.
And have a wonderful weekend.
Yes. Yes. It was a serious discussion for a Friday.
I know.
I think it was much needed. So
see you, everyone.
See you.